What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Team Member Perspective Podcast Show. I'm your host, Coulter, and I realize I'm a little up close and personal, so I'm gonna scoot back. But guys, today I wanna talk a little bit about service. And just so you know, over the last 6 years of being a team member, my role in the agency was a hybrid sales and service role. Primarily sales, like that is my job duty. That's my role in the agency, is to sell, bring more customers in, write more policies. However, I was still helping out with the service load for my whole 6 years. So with that, I know it's a common thing that I hear from a lot of team members. If only I had more time in the day to sell, I could sell more. Or if only I didn't have to do all this service work, then I could spend more time selling and I could sell more. Guys, that is such a bad way of thinking. And today, that might trigger some of you. And honestly, if it does, check yourself. But for me, I just don't buy it. I don't buy the simple opinion of, hey, if I didn't have all this service, then I could sell. I just don't buy that, because over the last 6 years, I created so many opportunities from service. If we think about it, guys, being a team member is difficult, especially if we're trying to sell. And one of the main things that's hard is getting people on the phone. And we get them on the phone. The next piece that's difficult is getting them to actually listen to us. So I want to talk about that today and talk about one thing that we can all do in 2024. We're in this Fast Start promotion. One thing that all of us sales team members can do that are doing service that will help us unlock our potential, that will help us write more policies than we ever have before. And it's the simple mindset shift of, instead of viewing service as a time suck, we view it as an opportunity. You guys, that is where it needs to start. Because if you're not thinking about it being an opportunity, you're going to view every service task that comes in to the agency that you need to deal with as a time suck. You're not going to view it as an opportunity. And if you're not viewing it as an opportunity from the beginning, how likely do you think you are going to be to recognize opportunities to pivot? Probably not very likely, right? Because you're not thinking about it in that way. And let's say that you do recognize one somehow. How likely do you think you're going to be to actually sell a policy? Let's say that customer, you do pivot, which good for you if you do, but let's say that you're viewing it as a time suck, you pivot, and they give you an early premature objection or an early no. How likely are you to actually move through that no if you're viewing it as just a time suck? If you're thinking like me, you're probably like, I probably wouldn't. I'd probably cave the first no that I get. And so, guys, team members, if you are in a role that's hybrid, sales service, you need to think and check your frame. How are you viewing service work? Are you viewing it as a time suck, or are you viewing it as an opportunity? Now, if you're like, you know what, Coulter, I viewed it as a time suck since the day I started. If you are in that frame of mind right now, that's okay, number one. Number two, you have the power to change that. You have the power to look at service from the opportunity lens instead of continuing to look at it from the time suck lens. Over my 6 years of being a team member, I wrote over 200 life insurance applications the last 4 years, consistently every single year, plus about 100 plus health. And I was doing P&C at a decent level as well. But I look over the last 6 years, and did I deal with service? Yes. I deal with it every single day. But guess what I started to do when I started to view it as an opportunity and not a time suck? I started to write more policies. Guys, it really is that simple. I want to tell you why I feel like it really is an opportunity, because it's one thing to be like, oh yeah, Coulter, yeah, it is an opportunity, but not actually feel that it's an opportunity, not actually know why it's viewed as an opportunity. So if we think about, it's difficult to get people on the phone, and it's difficult to get people to actually listen to us. And I think because, if we're in a sales position and we have this frame of like, oh, the only time I can really sell is when I'm doing sales activities. Okay, that's true, but think of it this way. Let's say that you have, a list of leads that you're working. Let's say you've got 100 people on this list, and you set aside some time to start knocking out these phone calls. Let's say that you make 20 phone calls in the next 10 minutes, okay? How many of those 20 are going to answer the phone? Answer it, right? For me, I would say maybe probably 5 out of 20. So right then and there, we've identified that, look, getting people on the phone is kind of difficult. Now, the next piece is like, let's imagine that those 5 people that picked up, how many of them do you feel like are actually giving you their time and attention and are actually listening to you? I don't know the answer to that question. We're not going to get any further, but I wanted to demonstrate that number 1, it's difficult to get people on the phone. And number 2, it's difficult to get people to actually give you their time and their attention. There have been so many outbound calls that I've made. It's like, number 1, maybe they don't answer. But number 2, if they do answer, it's like they're just not really listening to me. And it becomes extremely hard for me to get through to them, to get to a point where we can actually provide them a quote. So why is that? Well, guys, I think it's very simple. Our customers are busy. When you make that outbound phone call, guess what? You're interrupting their day. You don't know whether they're just getting the kids ready for school and they're scrambling out the door. You don't know if they're at an event for their kids. You don't know if they're at work and they're in a meeting. You don't know, if they're on their lunch break and they just want a break. You don't know any of that. And so all you're doing is you're calling them, you're interrupting their day. And if I'm in one of those positions where I'm busy with my kids, I'm busy at work, I want some alone time, whatever it is, if someone calls me, guess what's really, really easy to do? If I do pick up, it's easy to tell them no. It's like, hey, no, this isn't a good time. It's so easy to do that. And so guess what we get with our customers that, maybe we're doing service work. We get their time and we get their attention. We don't have to deal with that. We don't have to battle with that. They've already they're calling us, which means they've set aside time in their day to talk to you. Regardless of whatever the situation is, they have set that time aside. And in my experience, they're giving you their full time and their attention. And so then when Coulter brings up life insurance, they're actually listening to me. I don't have to deal with that of not having their attention because they're giving it to me. I don't have to deal with them not having time because they're giving it to me. They've set that time aside to talk with me. So guys, in 2024, join me and let's think of service as an opportunity, not a time suck. And I know that when we do that, we're going to recognize more opportunities and we're going to be able to convert a lot of those opportunities into policies written. We're going to make more money as team members. We're going to hit our goals for our agents, and we're going to spread our impact for our customers and ensure that they are properly protected. I appreciate you guys. Let's view service this year as an opportunity and not a time suck, and watch what happens. Appreciate you guys, and we'll catch you in the next episode.